Yo, what's going on, guys? So, in this video, we're going to be talking about the underlying feeling of feeling not good enough and how it's either propelling you forward or how it's actually bringing you backwards. So, keep watching. So, when you're feeling that feeling of not good enough, that gut-wrenching feeling, that feeling that always makes you feel sad or really angry, what does it make you do? Do you just give up? Just feel like, what's the point of life? Just give up. And do you just blame it on your anxiety? Do you go into victimhood where you think, it's not your fault and you just give up? Or do you try and push yourself, keep pushing forward, try and take action, work harder and harder and harder, do more activities, do more things, seek more validation, become a people pleaser? And then, do you find that when you do all these things and you propel yourself forward, when that moment comes when someone actually says to you, actually, you're not good at this, you're not good at that, do you feel that it hurts? And do you find that you actually start doing less? Do you find that good enough feeling actually starts to grow more and more? And actually, no matter how much more you move forward, do you find that eventually when you come across that feeling again, because there's always something you're not good at, whenever you come across that feeling again, do you feel like it's even more intense than before? And do you feel stuck because that no matter how much you move forward, this feeling is always still there, and it's still as more potent as it was before, it's still as strong as it was before, and no matter what you do, you just can't get rid of this belief, no matter what other people say? If that's you, then I may have the answer to help you overcome that block and help that not good enough feeling be not as potent and not as intense as it's feeling right now. So that good enough feeling often stems from childhood. Often you may have come across a certain event that caused that experience where you felt not good enough. For me, it was passing of a loved one. For other people, it could be other things. But when you feel that feeling of not good enough, what it does, it sticks in your head. It really makes you perceive the world as if you're not good enough, and you have to try and become not good enough, because you're going to try and basically run away from that feeling. You're going to try and suppress it, and you're going to try and do things to distract you from that feeling. And for some people, it leads to amazing achievements. They push forward and they achieve amazing things. But at the core of all of this is that feeling of not good enough. And whenever they feel that feeling, it really hits home deep. It really hurts. And again, they try and avoid that feeling by doing other things. It's like you're constantly running away from that feeling. And on one aspect, you can think of it as amazing motivation because actually you're pushing forward. But actually, what actually happens is the more you grow and the more you try and push that feeling away, the more that feeling grows as well. The more you come into circumstances where that feeling is reminded in yourself, and you feel really rubbish about yourself. And so you can try techniques, you can try journaling, and you can do different activities, but unless you really go to the core of where that feeling is stemming from and understand why you felt that way when you were young, understand the experiences that you felt in your life where you felt not good enough, and actually changing the perception in those experiences. So really thinking about those times when you were younger and really asking yourself, were you actually good enough? Was it just in that moment you felt not good enough, and so you perceived the world that way? And if you're someone who can relate to this, if you feel not good enough, really ask yourself, where in your life right now are you not taking action? Are you selling yourself short because you really feel that you're not good enough to do certain things? Maybe it's at work, maybe it's with family, maybe it's all around you. Maybe you're not stepping up to live up to your full potential because you deep down feel like you're not good enough. And by not being good enough, you're either hiding away, you're binging watching Netflix, you're eating a lot, you're working extra hard to do certain activities and just stressing yourself out. Because if you've got stress and you've got anxiety, you really probably aren't satisfied with life. And even if you're achieving great things, even if you've got a lot of money in the bank account, and if you're still stressed and anxious, what's the point? what's the point of it all? Because if you're just pushing and pushing and pushing and you're not happy, you're not content with who you are as a human being, if you're not satisfied with who you are as a person without the external attachments, what's the point? And so this good enough feeling, to really tackle it, you want to dig deep. You want to find the core root of where this belief was formed. And you will probably find there's loads of experience in your childhood, in your life, but you want to find one or two experiences that really sunk in deep, that really hit home. And the first time you do this, it won't be easy. You can start journaling, you can start meditating, and try and delve in deeper, and it's going to take time. It's like peeling your onion, because there's going to be so many different layers to this, especially the older you get. But the more you start diving deep and peeling those layers off of experiences where you felt not good enough, times when you felt not good enough, and you dig deep and deep and deep, you'll be able to find the core root when you were younger, where you kind of developed that belief. And in those situations, you want to learn to accept yourself as actually you were young, and even though that's how you perceive the world around you then, it's not how you have to live your life now. It's a choice. And it's not just simple as reframing this in your head. You have to be able to feel it. You have to feel how it feels to be good enough. You have to feel empowered, you have to feel excited, and you have to feel like you can tackle the world. And it's okay not to know things. It's okay to not be the best at things, because deep down you're good enough no matter what. And that's the truth of it all. We're all good enough to exist as human beings, to be ourselves. We're good enough to be ourselves. But over time we develop experiences, beliefs, fears that all kind of shrink us down, and we no longer want to express ourselves and be that confident version, that authentic self, that authentic, confident self. So the question is, what are you doing today to help you dive deeper into the root cause of that feeling of not good enough? It does take time. Sometimes you need external advice, external help, and that's okay. And actually, the more you dig deeper, the more you push yourself, the more you take responsibility for your life, and you no longer blame other people around you, the more you're going to step forward into that feeling of good enough. Because you're going to realize that actually all this time, what's been stopping you is that core belief that you formed when you were young. And now that you have identified where it comes from, where it stems from, understand the thoughts around it, why you kind of formed it in the initial place, you're going to have a more better understanding, and you're going to consciously be able to stop that feeling of not good enough come up whenever you're walking in your day-to-day life, and then you're going to step forward and achieve your goals faster. You're going to be more motivated to do the things that you want, because you know that you are good enough. Let that sink in. You are good enough. So, if you're someone who's going through this belief of feeling not good enough, start today. Start doing something today to help you delve deeper, really jump in and find out where this belief is coming from, and really get to the core of it. And if you can get to the core of it and really embody that feeling of being good enough, of feeling empowered, of feeling excited, and really become that person, become that 2.0 version of yourself, you're going to be able to achieve goals down the line much more faster and much more easier. Now, this doesn't mean that good enough feeling is going to go away forever. But what it means, like I said, is you'll be able to have a better understanding of it, and it will no longer hold you down, it will no longer cause you as much anxiety, it will no longer cause you as much stress as before. And what you'll find is that your day-to-day life improves. That base threshold where you're kind of just surviving, you're blaming other people, you don't want to take responsibility because you don't want that not good enough feeling to grow. You'll no longer be at that base, but you'll be at a more empowered person. You'll be at a more empowered stage of your life where you're able to take responsibility and be confident, and you'll just be more self-aware of who you are. And this, I promise you, will bring you so much more joy in life, as opposed to running away and suppressing that feeling of not good enough. So, if you're interested in really delving in deep, I urge you that today you explore this feeling. On a piece of paper, start with writing, I am not good enough, and explore where this belief may have stemmed from. and write down all the times in your life where you felt this way, how it made you feel. Really go into that core feeling of how it made you feel deep down. And on a separate page, ask yourself, are these experiences true? Am I actually good enough? In the eyes of the other person, did they actually perceive me that way? Or did I perceive myself that way and allow myself to put myself down? And it's a difficult task to do, and it will take time to really dive deep. But as you start now, peeling off the layers and layers and layers of beliefs and thoughts and perceptions that you've formed, you'll be amazed by how much more joy you experience around you. How much more joy you will find stepping out and expressing your true self. So if this is something that relates to you, or something that you really resonate with, drop me a question, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Actually, before I leave, my 90-day course for men is out now. It's a 90-day course that will help you bring more clarity into your life, build more confidence, and connect you to your truest, highest self. It's a course that will help you to identify your values, understand all those limiting beliefs that's stopping you from pushing forward and what you're resisting now. It will help bring up emotions. I look for a sacred space to hold those emotions and really embody the new identity of who you want to become. By the end of the 90 days, I will help you achieve your goals, bring more abundance into your life, and more importantly, connect you to your truest, highest self so that you can walk forward and be more empowered and less anxious. If this is something of interest to you, drop me a DM now. Check the link in the bio or the description below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.